Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel #random information. Answer for every valid question. As we have started tutorial classes on power system analysis subject, let us move to the module 2 symmetrical fault analysis. In today's discussion, we'll see all theory topics of this module. As per our today's discussion, let us get into the module 2 symmetrical fault analysis. Guys, since in the previous video lectures we just saw module 1 theory by topic explained in detail, but explaining the theory, it doesn't make a sense. Like, it's very easy to read for a degree student, and I have given a notes in my classroom. You can join through the classroom given in the video description link. You can read from those notes. I wrote in a simple words, say, and simple sentences. Just I will give a overview of all the theories what we come across in the module 2, and later stages I'll deal with the only numerical and derivation part in detail. Don't worry, you can learn only theory part. Yes, entering into the actual discussion. Fault analysis, symmetrical fault analysis. Generally, what is a fault? Guys, sometimes we saw in our electrical power system, there may be a fault due to lightning strikes while during the rains, and due to some human mistakes, man-made mistakes, and this may leads to the fault. This may leads to the fault of a grid system, and power cut will happen. These faults affects on the all power system components too. Okay, these faults, there are two types of faults. We generally classify them: unsymmetrical faults and symmetrical faults. Symmetrical faults is a fault which, when fault occurs in all the three-phase lines, will be in a balanced current. That is, I mentioned here, symmetrical fault analysis. The analysis involves fault current which occurs in a balanced current in all determination the lines. Like, we have three-phase lines, right? In that, the balanced current will flow. That is symmetrical fault analysis. The unsymmetrical fault analysis is we deal in the next module. Okay. The first topic in the theory, we're discussing about a transient on a transmission line. Guys, I wanted to give bit information about the fault. The fault occurs three stages. Generally, the fault means there will be three stages in electrical system. First is transient, subtransient state, and another transient state. Another is steady state. First, subtransient state occurs only just after the fault. Just few milliseconds after the fault. This is subtransient. There will be huge and millions together current in this period, and in later 2 to 3 cycles of fault will get transient period, and finally we get into the steady state period. Okay. If a fault occurs, the transmission that is transient period on a transmission line, we are dealing with this. This is type of a derivation. I'll just go through it. The phenomena occurring in a fraction of seconds, about a microseconds, on any point of transmission line is called transient of transmission line. Just I discussed. Let assumptions are made at this stage for simplifying. These assumptions are very important. They are asked many times in examinations. Just go through this. The line is fed from the constant voltage source. That is, a voltage source, the line is fed from a constant voltage source. There is no vary in the voltage. Short circuit takes place when the line is unloaded. Keeping in that point, the line is unloaded. We are dealing this derivation on the condition of unloaded system. The line capacitance is negligible, and the line can be represented by lumped or RLC series network like this, as shown. Consider this circuit RL, and this is a closing switch. That is, this is a fault. Assume this is a fault, closing T equal to 0. This is a constant voltage source. This is root 2 V. This can be root 2 V can be written as Vm, that is peak voltage. Say sine omega t plus omega. At t is equal to 0, initially at t is equal to 0, the current after short circuit, total current, I is equal to Is plus It. There will be two terms where Is is a steady state current, It is a transient current. If we add both of them, we will get a total short circuit current. Okay, now Is will write a equation for steady state current. Is is equal to voltage. Generally, I is V by R, right? Voltage divided by R, where R means resistance or impedance, whatever it may be. We just wrote impedance of transmission, magnitude of impedance, and voltage we have to write. Voltage is root 2 V sine omega t plus phi. That's what. And omega t minus theta is the phase difference between voltage and current. And then from the circuit, magnitude of impedance is equal to R square plus XL whole square. That is equal to R square plus omega. XL can be written as omega into L, omega square into L square. This all over we will write in the angle theta. This impedance will write an angle theta, where theta is equal to tan inverse of omega L divided by R. We're done with the equation steady state. Now IT, transient current, that is equal to this equation we get that I of 0 is equal to initial condition. I of 0 current is equal to I of 0 plus I of t0 is equal to 0. It inductive circuit, so it is inductive circuit, so it decays by time constant, because the circuit is inductance, right? See here, the circuit is inductance, so it decays by time constant L by R. Therefore we'll get both of them 0. So IT, from this equation, IT is equal to minus of IS 0. Therefore we'll write IS 0, initial condition, minus of IS 0 multiplied by, this is time factor, E is equal to R by L, that is time constant is R by L, and into T is equal to, we know that Is of 0, you just substitute. What is Is? We just found it right here. Now this equation we have to write there. Yes, IT is equal to just Is of 0, I substituted it, multiplied by e raised to minus. Next equation we'll get as, since we assume that initial conditions, that is I of t means t value is 0, right? We have to substitute t value is 0, alpha minus theta. We just reverse the order, theta minus alpha, like this, theta minus alpha. We'll get a negative sign outside of sin theta. Negative sign becomes plus, and root 2v sin theta minus alpha, as it is time constant, will get under impedance. Equation 1 implies we got a equation for IT and previous IS. Both will add. I is equal to IS plus IT. After this is the total current, and this part is what we said, steady state current, right? Symmetrical SC current, we call it as symmetrical SC current, and this equation we call it as DC offset current. Now in power system technology, there are some points. I'll just give information what it is actually. Look at this graph. This is the waveform of voltage, and this big graph is voltage for Is lagging behind theta, both phase angle, and this is after getting a fault. This is subtransient period, and we'll enter into the transient period. This is a fault, and finally we'll got a steady state. And in the graph, if we zoom and we'll take a graph, we get like this graph, exponentially decreasing. That is the starting initially high current, maximum peak, that called as maximum momentary current. It is very important in selection of circuit breaker, maximum momentary current. Okay, finally this expression can be written as IMM is equal to, we'll eliminate the sign terms, we'll eliminate this total sign term, because IMM corresponds to the first peak, the short time, because this peaks, this is the IMM. IMM represents a maximum peak in the graph, therefore IMM corresponds to the first peak, and this is this transient will be in milli to microseconds, therefore the short time is neglected, that is t content times t content terms can be eliminated from this equation. Since it contains total t terms, we will eliminate this, and this also contains t, right? 0 e raised to 0, it becomes 1, and finally we'll get like this, sin theta minus alpha. Okay, sin theta minus alpha as it is all, and transmission line resistance is small, that is theta is approximately 90 degree. For sin theta minus alpha, we'll put 90 minus alpha, we'll get cos alpha, this becomes cos alpha. We'll just replace it, just order is changed here, root 2 v cos alpha plus root 2 v magnitude z. Finally maximum possible, the maximum, this IMM is there, right? The maximum possible when alpha is equal to 0. When alpha is equal to 0, maximum possible. Short circuit occurring when voltage wave is going to 0. Okay, IMM maximum possible is equal to, we'll substitute 0, cos 0 is 1, and this is 2 times, right? Therefore 2 times of root 2 v divided by magnitude of z. This is the twice, we initially we got this is as current, and we will get a twice of current, twice the maximum symmetrical current, called as doubling effect. Twice the maximum symmetrical current, called as doubling effect. We will call this as double the current, that is doubling effect. Hence a circuit breaker is selected based on this IMM max. Our next topic is short circuit of a synchronous machine on no load. Just I will give an overview of what actually goes on this. Since a synchronous machine is a main part of an power system network, because without a synchronous machine there is no generation, not at all a power system. Okay, therefore the short circuit on a synchronous machines matters a lot. Now this short circuit of a synchronous machines happen when on no load, that is no load is connected to the synchronous machine. Assuming this is the circuit for a steady state circuit model of a synchronous machine. This is XL is a leakage reactance and XA is the armature reactance. Both constitutes XT, that is direct access reactance in a synchronous machine. After few seconds of fault, we'll get a subtransient period. In that XL remains same and armature impedance differentiates into dXW, DF, XF, XA, where XDW is a damper winding reactance, XF is a field winding reactance, and XA is a armature reactance. Armature reactance is split into 3 components, and after entering into the transient period, and we get a 2 impedance circuits parallel, that is XF and XA, armature and field winding. And go through this theory, it's a bit simple explanation. And just see this graph, this is very important. This is the subtransient, this is very in a high peak, this is a subtransient period, there will be a high current in this period, and just below this we'll get a transient period. These are all transient period after fault, and we enter into the steady state period, there will be a normal. Sudden fault occurs, high current, that is a subtransient, and slowly it reduces, that is transient period, and finally we'll get a steady state. And in these period only we'll get a fault on the power system components, any power system components. Next I'll see one point here. This in subtransient period we'll call as subtransient impedance and transient impedance and steady state impedance. For the knowledge purpose, in subtransient period there will be high current, that implies very less impedance, right? Very less impedance, and there will be compared to this there will be a small current here transient, because it's gradually decreasing. In transient period there will be small current, that is just middle impedance, and in steady state there offers a lot of impedance, and there will be a small minor current. Therefore xd double dash subtransient is noted as a double dash. Okay, xd double dash is greater than xd dash. For transient period we'll note it as xd dash, and steady state period xd double dash greater than xd dash greater than xd double dash. And next concept is short circuit of a loaded synchronous machine. In loaded synchronous machine we'll find a voltage, different voltages, and will this impedance after we getting a fault in a loaded synchronous machine. There will be a three types of reactances, that is xd, xd double dash, xd dash. As I said, xd is a steady state, remember, xd double dash is subtransient, xd dash is transient. These are the voltage equations. We'll get Eg is equal to V naught plus J into I naught into xd. This is for a steady state condition, and double dash means subtransient, single dash means transient, remember it. This is subtransient voltage, we'll get like this equation, and transient will get like this equation. And finally, if current is 0, that is no load case, Eg is equal to Eg dash is equal to Eg double dash, remember. And in case of motor, just put plus instead of minus, sorry, we'll put minus instead of plus in motor case, that's all. EM means steady state, EM dash means transient period, EM double dash is subtransient. Finally, the theory topic is selection of circuit breakers. The selection of circuit breakers mainly to choose the circuit breakers, two ratings are plays important roles, that is rated momentary current IMM, we just derived it, and rated symmetrical interrupt current. Going through this theory, we'll come to know what are the factors influence the circuit breaker selection. Okay, these are the multiplying factors for transient current. For subtransient current, for selection of circuit breaker, the subtransient current is multiplied by 1.6, multiplying factor. Remember this point. What is this point? A symmetry momentary current multiplied by 1.6 to account a presence of DC offset current. For subtransient we multiply it by 1.6. For transient it depends based on cycles of circuit breaker, speed of circuit breaker, multiplying factor changes. You need to keep this in mind in the table. This table you have to remember. It will help in the numerical problems. And to calculate the fault current, I'll just explain in the numericals. If you can go through these formulas, we will continue with the numericals in the next class. I hope these classes are understood to you. Comment me for any queries and suggestions. If any doubts related to classes, you can join my Telegram study group, link in the description. Thank you for watching. Bye bye. Take care.